Hey everyone, I hope this video finds you well. Today we have some exciting news. Today I am so excited to share with you this exciting news. We as a church are going to come back together. That's right. After many long weeks of you being at home, of us being here, we are going to gather back together. Now, let me put the brakes on that real fast. It's going to look different. It's going to look different. Things are not going to be exactly like they were, and we're going to talk about that real fast. But first, let us celebrate, right? How exciting that we get to be back together physically. We are pumped as a church staff and looking forward to that day. That day is going to be June 7th. June 7th is the first Sunday we're going to be back together. And Wednesday, just the youth are going to resume June 10th. June 10th. And so we're excited for that. But going back to June 7th, June 7th is a particularly exciting day because we as a church are going to celebrate Graduation Sunday. That's right. We are going to celebrate the graduates. So if you are graduating from high school, or maybe someone in your family is graduating from college, we want to celebrate you. This has been a particularly tough time. You don't get to walk. We as a church family want to celebrate your accomplishments. On that day, June 7th, there's going to be two services. There's going to be one at 9 a.m. There's going to be one at 11 a.m. The 11 a.m. service is when we're going to do the graduation celebration. So if you're graduating or someone in your family is graduating, come to the 11 a.m. service. Say perhaps that you don't feel comfortable coming. You say, Jonathan, I really want to be a part of our church family, but our family just doesn't think it's a good idea to come. Well, do not worry. We're going to continue to stream our services online. We're going to do that specifically for the 11 o'clock service. So however you've been watching our services so far, tune into those same places, Facebook, YouTube, our website, and you're going to be able to see the 11 o'clock service. But if you do come, things are going to be a little different. First of all, hopefully by then I'll get a haircut. I'm sure that y'all are having fun watching my hair grow really long. But there'll be more significant changes than that as well. We're encouraging you to wear a mask, for example. When you're entering and exiting the building, we think it would be best for everyone to be wearing masks, and so we encourage you to do that. We also want you to sit with your households, right? So sit with the people you live with. Notice I didn't say family. I know everyone in this church is family. Some very literally all are family. And so, don't sit with your households, the people that you live with. We're going to be doing social distancing. We're going to be sitting every other pew. So that might be a little weird at first, but that is how we're going to do things. And then on top of that, we're not going to have Sunday school. We are not having Sunday school on June 7th or any Sundays afterwards for a little while. And all of this is just to be careful. We're not living in fear. We're not letting fear rule our decisions. We're just seeking to be wise. We're seeking to be careful. All wisdom is God's wisdom. And so the wise scientists God have put on this earth, we want to honor the things that they've recommended that we do. And so we are going to carry ourselves in that way. So it might be a little weird. It might be a little odd, waving at each other with masks over our face. But at least we will be together, right? So all of that in mind, it leads us to today's lesson. And I think it's an interesting and natural one. I think it's probably a question you have on your mind. Maybe you have thought of it before. Maybe you've never thought of it to this moment, but I'm sure that in the midst of this craziness, it's come to your mind in some way, shape, or form. Why do we have church? Why do we have church? Have you thought of this? Why don't we just continue what we're doing online? Why is it so important that we have a church service here? Maybe this is something you've thought before. Maybe it's something you're thinking recently. But for sure you've never heard a lesson on this, right? No one goes to church to hear a message on why they should go to church, right? That would be silly. And so let's talk about it now. I want to answer that question for you. And that, I think, is an important thing, because if you understand why it's important to go to church, not only will it affect us in this time when we're trying to make this decision about whether or not to head back, but it also is going to help shape your understanding of things when everything does return back to normal. And so I want to tackle that. Why should we go to church? But before we get to the answer, I want to get to some things that are not the answer. One reason why some people might think we should go to church, but really isn't true at all, is that there's something special about the building. Maybe when you were a kid, you were in the sanctuary running in the pews or jumping from pew to pew, and either your mom or some well-intending adult said, "Stop running in the house of God," right? Stop running in the house of God. You're being disrespectful. And while certainly it's true, we want to respect God, we need to understand that this place isn't special. It's just a building. Do we have memories in this place? Absolutely. Do those memories make it important to us? 100%. But there's nothing spiritually special about this building. This building that I'm in right now, that you will be in on June 7th, hopefully, there's nothing special about it. It's just brick and mortar. It's just a physical place. We as a church could meet in a field somewhere, and we'd still be the church. Thankfully, we don't have to do that. Thankfully, we get to have the air conditioning. We get to have the blessing of cushioned seats. But the building is just that. It's just a tool that we use. It's just a place we meet. There's nothing special about it. It's not like God is more here at this building than he is somewhere else. It's not like God is like 80% here in this building and 20% somewhere else. I know what people mean when they say this is the house of God. What they mean is this is the place we worship God, and that's true. But God is 100% everywhere. God is just as much here in this building as he is where you are right now. The building is just that. It's a building. We call it church, but truthfully, it's where we have church. It's just that. A building. So that's not the reason. The building is not the reason why we should come. So what is another possible reason that people might say? Well, I think another reason people sometimes come to church is because they feel like they have to be holy. They feel like God is this giant, all-powerful Santa who is in heaven keeping attendance, saying, Joe went to church today, Molly went to church today. 2 checks for them, 2 more points towards putting them on the nice side of the naughty and nice list. But God isn't like that. God's not in heaven wishing you went to church more for the sake of you having a better attendance record. God doesn't care about your attendance record. Sure, there's ways you can grow at church, and God wants you to be at church so you can grow, so you can experience those things. But he doesn't want you to be at church just so you can say you've been there. We don't go to church for God's sake. There's something that we should receive on our own. We're not, it's not like we're trying to attend a service just for the sake of attending. Oh, I can check that box off. Some people treat church that way. They treat it like God is keeping score. God is not keeping score. Remember, if you are a believer in Christ, you get to go to heaven because of what Christ did for you. not because of the good things you've done, not because of the amount of times you've been to church. No, you can go to heaven. You can know God because of Jesus Christ's death on the cross. God isn't some Santa who's has a naughty and nice list and is taking attendance. What a terrible reason if that's why you go to church. So then that leads me to the real answer. Why, Jonathan? Why do you go to church? Because of us. Church is a special place because of the people. When you think of why youth group is important to you or why you keep going, you don't think of me. You don't think of my lessons. You don't think of some fun thing we did. You think of the people. You think of your friends. You think of the memories you've had with them. Those are the people that encouraged you when life was tough. Those are the people that helped you grow and become a better version of yourself when you were struggling. Church is an important place to be physically because of the people. The people is what makes church special. When God looks at Fork Baptist Church, he doesn't think about service. He doesn't think about anything we do here. He doesn't think about a building. He thinks of the people here. Why should you come to church? Because the people are going to encourage you, help you grow. They're going to make life just in general an easier experience. We were not meant to live life alone. We were meant to do life together. We're not meant to be lonely on this earth. We're meant to have fellow believers as friends, encouraging us, comforting us, challenging us. Why should you come to church? Because of everyone else. There will always be the best music online. There will always be better teaching than me online. The thing that makes this place special is the people. And no Zoom meeting can replace that. You know that. No Zoom meeting can replace that. Why should you go to church? Because of the people. Because of the people. Well, thank you. You joined us this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you June 7th. And June 10th, when we're restarting, we are having a Zoom meeting tomorrow, this week. So we are excited for that. We will have our Zoom meeting. It's actually our last Zoom meeting because next Thursday, I am getting a root canal. So I am not going to be able to have a Zoom meeting on that Thursday. So this is our last Zoom meeting this week. Make sure you attend tomorrow at 7 p.m. But above all, no, June 10th. June 10th is when we're restarting. I'm so excited to see you guys and spend time with you guys. Until then, praying for you.